Hari Om, everyone. Let's start with prayer. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. So next week, we are going to begin celebrating Navaratri. Navaratri, we celebrate every year, 9 days of festivities, and then the 10th day, Dashera. So today I'm going to share with you all one beautiful way in which our Puja Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda Ji, had explained what Navaratri is in a beautiful yajna which he did in Chennai. It's important to explain this before Navaratri starts so that when it starts, we will know exactly what we have to do. So we are going to prepare today, okay, for Navaratri, which is coming. So who knows what Devis we worship on Navaratri? So it's 9 days and it's separated into three-day periods, meaning the first 3 days, we celebrate Durga Ma. Then the next 3 days are dedicated to Lakshmi Ma. And the final 3 days is our worship of Saraswati Ma. So why is it divided in this way? Puja Gurudev gives a beautiful explanation. So let's listen to what Gurudev said in this yajna. Gurudev said, Devi, these 3 goddesses, they imply Shakti. That is the power of divinity within all of us. And over these 9 days, these 3 Devis must come out and express through us, through their characteristics. We must reflect what they represent. So let us see what they represent. The first 3 days are dedicated to worship of Durga Ma. Durga Ma symbolizes Kriya Shakti, the power of activity and energy, but one specific type of activity, the activity of destruction. This is what Durga Ma represents. Destruction of what though? Destruction of our negative tendencies. Durga Ma represents that strength within myself to get all of my negative tendencies under control. Tendencies like anger, greed, selfish desires that I should not have, lower desires, like the ones to watch too much television or be on my device too much. Durga Ma gives me the strength to overcome that and say, no, I'm going to go out and do something good instead of just sitting on my phone or my laptop. Durga Ma represents the destruction of those qualities like pride and ego, all these forms of delusion that can be in us. But by praying to her, she doesn't just come and destroy them. We are praying for that Shakti, means that energy within us, that Durga Ma, you come alive within me and let me become strong enough to destroy my own negative tendencies. Give me that power that I can control my mind and my lower qualities so that I can keep control over my anger and my greed and come to conquer these negative tendencies in myself. Gurudev had said in our pledge, we stand as an army, ever ready to fight against all low tendencies and false values within and without us. Durga Ma represents this power in us to fight our lower tendencies and win. Next 3 days, Lakshmi Ma. Lakshmi Ma represents wealth. You've seen those pictures of Lakshmi Mata standing there with coins coming out of her hand, lots of gold. So she represents wealth and money, right? No, not that kind of wealth. That's just the symbolism, so that when we see money, we automatically think wealth. So this is meant to make us automatically remember wealth when we see her. But it means the wealth of character, the wealth of my good character, that I must have so many good qualities that I become rich in goodness. Qualities like love, compassion, kindness, that I want to help mommy do the dishes, or help daddy take out the garbage, or study and be a good student, be a good friend, share what I have. These good qualities form the wealth of my character. And when I pray to Lakshmi Ma for the next 3 days, she bestows on me this power, this Shakti within myself to bring out my best qualities. The reason why it's given us 3 days, Puja Gurudev explained, is it is symbolic. It is not that we only pray for 3 days throughout the year, but it is symbolic that throughout the year, we must conquer our lower tendencies and bring out the goodness in ourselves at 3 levels. At the level of the body, at the level of the mind, and at the level of the intellect. So over these 3 days, I say, Durga Ma, help me to control any negative tendencies at the level of my body. Let me not be lazy. Let me do good things. At the level of my mind, let me not think bad thoughts or want to do anything bad for anyone. At the level of my intellect, let me destroy my pride and ego. Then, after the destruction of these negative tendencies, I have emptied myself of negative things. Now I fill myself up with positive things by worshipping Lakshmi Ma. Lakshmi Ma, over these next 3 days, at the level of my body, help me to do good things, be strong and active, a good child, a good sevaka and sadhaka. At the level of my mind, help me to think good thoughts. Help me to have those emotions which are kind and compassionate. And at the level of my intellect, help me to think higher thoughts. Think about Bhagwan. Think about my schoolwork. Think about how I can use everything I learn in Balvihar to make my life and those lives around me better. At these 3 levels, body, mind, and intellect, we cleanse ourselves of negativities and we fill ourselves up with goodness through Durga Ma and Lakshmi Ma. And the final 3 days, Saraswati Ma. We all know, we've done Saraswati Puja. Saraswati Ma represents knowledge, purity and knowledge. So after we've cleansed ourselves of all negativities, become strong with good qualities, now we are ready to take in all this knowledge into ourselves. Saraswati Ma, bless me so that I study well and my intellect becomes bright and beautiful with this knowledge, so that I can share it and help make the world a better place. This is what these 3 Devis represent. They represent these wonderful abilities within ourselves. And so as we enter into Navaratri now, this is what we must remember. So now we know what we have to do for the first 3 days, for the next 3 days, and for the last 3 days. And make these Devis, these powers, this Shakti of goodness come alive in me. So good luck for your Navaratri. Have a beautiful and blessed Navaratri. And let us live it in the way Puja Gurudev has explained for us. Okay? Hari Om. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha.